Jurgen, let's ask you a simple one to start with, shall we? Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe? Which one are you taking at the moment?
Well, I'm pleased for every striker when he gets his goals, but obviously Kylian. Today that was fun to watch, and he enjoyed himself. I mean, obviously we fans talk about Real Madrid, all the time, and we always wonder, how does Xabi Alonso fix all these issues with Vinicius Junior, with Mbappe, with all the other things, how to put the right players in the right spot. And it's all like we discussed about Liverpool before. It's man management. It's how to get the best out of the players, and hopefully they fit the best the way they were brought in. And at least today, Mbappe had his moments and is going home with another ball.
Just in case this gets clipped off,
yes,
and Jan Fjotov sees it, I'm going to say Mbappe.
And then send it to Norway.
I tell you, well, he'll see it. I tell you who wasn't knocking on Alonso's door, asking why he wasn't playing. It's Fran Garcia. What about that decision at the weekend?
Yeah, that was crazy. And of course, that sparked a lot of debate, Jurgen, in Spain about this relationship between Vinicius Junior and Xabi Alonso. Very different, obviously, managing Bayer Leverkusen to coming in to manage Real Madrid. Have these big stars, big contract talk, of course, very much under the spotlight. How do you deal with big names like that as a manager?
Well, it's very delicate. It's difficult. It's difficult for every manager, when you have superstars in your roster and they have their own egos and they're all alpha animals, and you have to hopefully manage them or guide them the right way. You have to build a relationship and you have to spend time on that relationship. It's not easy, and it can make or break you. I mean, it's as simple as that. For you as a manager, you have the responsibility to choose the right captain that is on your side, that cleans up a lot of the issues in the locker room. Hopefully you choose the right one, but you have no guarantee before that. So before you don't go into that club, which Xabi Alonso goes into, even if he knows the club, but you go into that locker room, you have no real deep understanding of how all the characters function, how they're getting along with each other, what are the little jealousy issues, what are the groups of your players, and then it's a learning curve. It's a big learning curve. Within a couple of weeks, months, you figure out, okay, these guys hang out together, these guys hang out together. I got them all hopefully on board. And then when maybe you lose a couple of games and the media play their part then into it and throw out some speculations and issues and arguments, then you find yourself as a manager in a spot that is very, very difficult to handle.
It just shows you, doesn't it, that we talk tactics, we talk about individual brilliance. It's also about team spirit and the group getting on and man management. They're the things you can't see. You only see what happens on the field. But that's such an important and vital role for the manager to get right.
And of course, there was the story in the last few days that Alex Kirkland was on the show, suggesting that, the rumour was that the players, whether it's true or not, had already started to turn against Xabi Alonso. I mean, you always sort of hear these things, particularly when, well, not always, but you generally hear these things when results are going against you. The problem is, and Jurgen was talking about, you're figuring your dressing room out, you're figuring the dynamic about players, but at Real Madrid, you have to figure it quicker, don't you? Yeah, because you just...
El Presidente, as Stevie likes to call him.
I saw that. And you just don't get that time at Real Madrid, and so you've got to make those decisions quicker. And he has made some big decisions, some positive ones since he's gone in there, but the ones that he made at the weekend in particular were head-scratching. That team selection away at Elche, which was a tough game and they got outplayed. And had he lost this one tonight, which they didn't, he'd have been under more pressure. But yeah, it's difficult, particularly with the dynamics and the player power at clubs like Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part.
Yeah, Jurgen, how difficult is that to deal with, where you almost are second-guessing yourself as a coach, knowing that, for example, dropping Vinicius Junior in a game that eventually you'll draw, the scrutiny is going to be so intense from the media, from the fans and from the board?
Oh, it's very difficult because obviously you hope to have a positive relationship with every single player, which is pretty much not possible because there are 25, 26 players and 11 only play. So you have to make some uncomfortable decisions every game. you know, and so you don't have only friends. It's more the friends that play in starting 11 than the guys that sit on the bench. This is the one part. The other part is that you got to really figure out quickly, you know, what are the dynamics within the club, you know, of the media, your president, as you mentioned, the president or the board, you know, and how protected are you really with your philosophy? So Xabi Alonso, obviously, he presented a high pressure, a very aggressive, attacking-minded football in Leverkusen, and everybody bought in. Everybody worked against the ball as hard as they could, and there was no doubt about it that they kind of run their socks off. Now, this is not the football of Real Madrid. Real Madrid, you know, has these superstars, and they want to play it their way. They don't want to run after the ball all the time. They want to have the ball all the time, and then play with the ball. So this transition is a very difficult one, because obviously he has to adapt to the way how things work at Real Madrid and how those players basically function in their own characteristics. At the same time, he wants to keep also a little bit of his own identity, meaning that was his brand or his way of playing it the 2 seasons before with Bayer Leverkusen very, very successfully. And this has to mold. But, you know, as Greg and Stewart say, for molding things together in a club like Real Madrid, you don't have no time.
Yeah.
You have simply no time. You know, you got to deliver results right away. You got to be on top of the table in Spain. You got to be on top with the other 5, 6, 7 big teams in Europe in the Champions League. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be a daily nightmare in the media, and there are question marks all over the place.
Well, he's saving grace at the moment, I suppose, in some senses, is Mbappe, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, his numbers, his performances, that's at least giving him a chance.
And Barca are stumbling as well. The fact you're still top of the table, I think, obviously gives you a little bit of grace, doesn't it? If Barca were firing on all cylinders...
Yeah, you're not looking at Barca and going, well, they're going to be a tough nut to crack, and they're going to win 12 games on the bounce, because they've got their issues as well, clearly, defensively. So yeah, it's listen, there's nothing Xabi Alonso... I mean, I'm not talking about the dressing room, but there's nothing about the job in terms of the pressure he won't have known before he took it. Maybe he's been surprised by some things in the dressing room and the dynamics. And of course, it's not all his doing, because Vinicius Junior's, you know, he's played a difficult character in the last, 12 months?
Him and Ancelotti obviously had a...
You know, he wound up Ancelotti so much that Ancelotti was like, if you don't start working hard on the pitch here, I'm going to take you off. And when you're having to tell your star players to basically start running about, that's an issue. So he's a game changer, but he can be a really difficult character, and he's not getting it his own way with Real Madrid because he's not getting the money that he wants at this moment in time, and he's playing his cards, and Xabi Alonso is trying to play his own.
Xabi Alonso had a totally different job at Bayer Leverkusen because he took over when they were, I think, 4th bottom. So he had players that weren't playing particularly well, a team that wasn't doing very well, a crowd that weren't that expectant. So when he starts to get results, the players believe in this. This is, whatever we're doing is great. And they believed in it. They followed everything he did. He's gone to a club with excellent players, and now he's got to try and mould them into a team. And he's not really done the things he did at Bayer Leverkusen. We thought he was going to play with the 3 at the weekend with the players that were available, which he always seemed to do at Bayer Leverkusen. Still didn't go with it. He went Frank Garcia left wing. So strange.